My Story is presented to you by the Focus on Life program of the GBHWC Peace Office and Good Neighbor Pharmacy. Special thanks to Guam Cancer Care, the Pacific Star Resort and Spa, Jai Fusion Agate, DFS Tea Galleria, The Cello Shop, Tresemme, distributed by Cosmos, Magic Mirror, Canvas by Fawn, Procreate, and Loco Promos.
On the Guam Cancer Care website, cancer is defined as the uncontrolled growth of abnormal cells. Cancer cells grow and divide like normal cells. However, they outlive normal cells and continue to create more of its own abnormal cells. There are over 100 different types of cancer accounted for thus far. Half a day, I'm Louise Muña, and welcome to the second episode of My Story. Every month, we will feature 2 stories of cancer warriors or survivors. I will ask them questions that no one dare ask about: how they found out, their symptoms, their deepest feelings about battling this disease, as well as how their families deal and support each other during this battle. In this episode, I will sit and talk with 2 courageous survivors with 2 different stories of battling the same enemy, cancer. Stay right there. After this commercial break, I will sit with Darlene Roberto, who was diagnosed with one of the most common cancers that women of any age fear: breast cancer. Welcome back to the second episode of My Story. Today we're sitting with Darlene and John Roberto. Half a day.
Hi, Louise.
Hi. Hi, John. How are you? So we're talking about your story. Your name is Darlene Roberto. Okay. Do you prefer to be called?
I prefer to be called Dar.
Dar?
Dar's fine.
Okay, we'll call you Dar. You were diagnosed with?
With breast cancer.
Breast cancer.
In 2010.
How old were you when you were diagnosed?
I was 35 years old.
35.
Right.
So what was life like for you before you were diagnosed?
Life before I was diagnosed, it was I was really busy. It was 2010. My family, we had just finished a family vacation. I was also completing a residency for my doctorate in Washington, D.C.
So you're a doctor?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Very young doctor.
Thank you.
Okay.
We just come back from our family vacation. I'd also just finished my comps, and we had celebrated my husband and my mom's birthday. They have the same birthday. So, and getting ready for the new school year, opening everything. So this was around August.
So pretty hectic lifestyle.
It was really hectic. So, I wouldn't have noticed any symptoms or anything. It was, it was pretty normal. I didn't feel lethargic or anything like that. And it all changed on Sunday, like right after their birthdays. So I vividly remember August 29, 2010, waking up in the morning, and I was in so much pain.
Pain as in
pain on my left side of my breast. I was, still sleepy, and I was, kind of nervous, and I felt around, and I felt something really unusual that I've never felt before in my breast exams. So, and it was very painful. Really painful.
Did you feel the pain when you went to sleep, or did you just feel it when you woke up?
Just when I woke up.
Wow.
And so I was, I was actually crying when I was like, oh my God, what is that?
Did you think it was breast cancer at first?
I did. I was really worried, so I even called my mom. She was the first person I called, and I said, what do you think I need to do about that? And she's like, it was a Sunday. And she said, go to urgent care, right away, just get it checked out, So I did, and the doctor that I saw at urgent care was actually my high school friend.
Okay.
And she's like,
so you were more comfortable,
I was more
relaxed,
comfortable, and I was like, she's like, what's wrong? And I was like, well, I have this, I feel something in my breast, and it's really painful. And she said, don't worry, breast cancer doesn't hurt.
Oh.
And so I was like, okay. She's like, maybe there's some kind of inflammation, or something like that going on down there. She said, let's just check it out. Maybe I'll order an ultrasound and things like that. So that was on a Sunday. And on a Monday, I had a scheduled ultrasound. So when I had my ultrasound, the technician was looking around, and he had a very serious face, and would ask me questions like, so did you do a lot with your family in the summer? And I was like, okay, that's kind of odd.
It's kind of irrelevant.
Ask me that question. He was just like, well, oh yeah, you know, we just had a big trip. We went to Washington, D.C., the whole California thing. He's like, that's very good that you got to spend all that time with your family. And I'm like, okay, something's really up. But he wouldn't say anything. And so when I walked out of the radiology department, all the techs were just looking at me with like really sad faces. So
wow.
I was like, okay, something's up. So that was on a Monday. And then I got a phone call that I needed to go get a mammogram right away on a Wednesday. So Wednesday I had my mammogram
Right away.
Right
Did
away.
that concern you when they said that?
It concerned me, and then, you know, I needed to do my research. I'm like, okay, well, I need to look at what do mammograms look like with breast cancer. So, you know, I would look for some really bright white spots. So when I had my mammogram, I asked the tech, I said, I want to see my pictures. She's like, are you sure? I said, yeah, I want to see it.
Was it still painful though?
It was still painful, because it was pretty large. And so I saw my pictures, and I saw, I didn't know what I was seeing, but it looked like some big white spot in my picture that had looked similar to what I'd seen on the internet.
So you had an idea already?
Yeah, so that was on a Wednesday. So then, but on Thursday, I get the phone call that I needed to make an appointment to see the surgeon so they could have a biopsy on it right away. Yeah.
They haven't even told you anything yet?
Nothing. They just need to take it out. It's suspicious. You know, let's get a biopsy on it and see what's up.
So this happened on Thursday?
On Thursday. So I saw
Okay.
I saw the surgeon on Thursday, and then he explained to me what we needed to do. I was like, okay, you know, I wasn't really worried yet, because someone once told me, you know, don't worry unless it's time to worry. So I was actually had my biopsy in September. So, you know, we had to do a lot of lab work and things like that. And then I didn't find out my results until it was like the end of the fiscal year. So it was like a really busy time.
You have to be a teacher
Yeah.
to know what a fiscal year is, right? Which is October?
September 30.
Okay, September 30.
So
Okay.
real, you know, a lot of things happen right before the end of the fiscal year. So, you know, so I called and I said, you know, can you just tell me over the phone?
You
what
asked for your
I asked, I
results
said, can
over
you
the
just give
phone?
me the results? And they said, no, it's best if you come in.
Okay.
So, you know, I actually went all by myself.
That day?
That day, left for my appointment, and
Were you at work?
I was at work.
You were left
I was at
work and went to go get your...
Yeah, that's what I did. And when I got in, I sat down waiting for the doctor, and then
In a small room, of course.
in a
like
small
they-
room, and he came in and put his hand on my leg and said, "I'm sorry, but it's cancer." And I said, "You gotta be kidding me." I was like, "I'm all alone. You know, that's not what you wanted to hear, you know, by yourself." So, and
Automatically, what was your first thoughts when he said
I
that?
just couldn't believe it. You know, it was...
Even after all of the tests and
After all the
everything,
tests, you know, I was very positive. Everybody kept saying, think positive, you know, things have been going very, you know, well in your life, and, you know, that doesn't happen to people like you know.
And your
You're so
age.
happy, you know, you're young, and so that was terrifying.
So after that, did you cry in the office?
I
Did you-
didn't. I was just like, I just need to
You were
get
in
out. I
shock.
told him I needed to get out of here, and I was so upset because the first thing he said to me after he told me my diagnosis was, I can do your surgery.
He said that?
He said, I could do your mastectomy. You'll need a mastectomy right away.
And a mastectomy is...
a removal of your breast and all the tissue associated with that.
Just like that?
Just like that. You know, like he had auditioned for my, you know, for that
tell
day
you.
to tell me that, you know, because he did my biopsy. So now I can do your surgery. And I'm like, what? You know,
You weren't prepared to make that
I
decision.
was not. I said, I cannot believe you're telling me all of this, and I have nobody here to be with, you know?
So after you left the clinic?
After I left the clinic, I was in the car, I was like, couldn't believe it. I called my mom right away, and it had just broken her heart. So, you know, she couldn't believe one of her daughters. She had lost her mom to, I lost my grandma to
Breast cancer?
and lung cancer.
Wow. So after you called your mom?
After I called my mom, I just, I had to actually go back to work, you know, and I told I called my mom, and I told my husband, and
You called him?
I called him. I was kind of ashamed.
You were ashamed
I was ashamed to let him know.
that you had breast cancer?
Yeah, that there was something wrong. So I didn't know how he would take it, because, you know, But he was also very shocked. Also, you know, we didn't know what to do, you know.
Do you think being ashamed was, the feeling of being ashamed was that you, what is a sign of weakness? What was?
I think so, or, you know, that there's something very serious that we really had to, you know, put a stop on, you know, with our lives and just, yeah.
You didn't want to be a burden.
I,
And what was John's reaction? I'm sure you're taken back, way back to that day, right? You're feeling that emotion all over again.
The hardest part was telling the kids.
Telling the kids.
I was lying down on the couch and he said, kids come, you know, my kids were very young at the time. They were 6 years old and 11 years old, you know, and so we brought the kids outside and in the living room and we told them. And that was the hard part, you know, letting them know. And after he told them, you know, I said, okay,
And plan of
we're
action.
gonna, yeah, you know, and so right away I had already decided, okay, well, the only thing I needed to do was remove them, get rid of these breasts, you know, right away. But then as I slept on it, I decided I needed to. I had a lot of friends from college that are doctors, you know, physicians, you know, so I had emailed my pathology report to all of them and I said, please help me because I just, already they want to just cut me open and...
Did they remove it? Or
no, I decided to keep my breasts.
Okay, so you could. What stage were you diagnosed?
The tumor was quite large when they brought it out, so it could easily have been staged at 3, but it was staged at 2.
2. Then you went through your treatments?
I did.
You had radiation?
I had chemotherapy, and then I went off island and had another biopsy done, and then when I came back, I had radiation.
You had radiation here?
Yes.
But you had to go off island?
I did, because the type of test that they did off island, they don't do it here on Guam. So and then I also wanted to go to the Prevalent Breast Center at UCLA and be with a world-renowned, you know, breast cancer surgeon. So I was very lucky. Yeah.
So are you clear? Clear? Is that
So
what they
far,
say?
so good. I just
What
had
did it
a
say? Remission, right?
remission. So I'm
Are
in
you
my 5th
remission?
year.
You're in 5th year
And,
since you've had your chemo
treatment and everything.
Okay, 5 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you have to go back and get it checked often?
Yes, they do. And I actually had some lab work done, and I have not heard from my doctor, my oncologist, so I must be good.
So according to Guam Cancer Care, you are a survivor.
Right.
Survivor 5 years. Is there any advice that you would have for somebody? I mean, because I guess you would say you're in that generation where you should be concerned, but you shouldn't be. So what would you tell somebody in your age group in the 30s? You know, what do you do?
You know, well, I'm 40 now.
Okay, sure, 30s.
But you know, really, age is really just a number, and all of those, you know, statistics or things like that, I think they're just irrelevant now because people are getting breast cancer at much younger ages. And so during my experience, I was able to help several women who had concerns about their breasts and kind of offer some of the advice that helped me, you know, really understand what was going on, what types of treatment are available, and you know,
Self-breast exams are very
self-breast
important.
exams, mammograms, you know, and I tell them, make sure you ask to see your pictures. Don't wait for the radiologist to call you, you know, so that you can have peace of mind.
Peace of mind. Good words.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much,
You're
Darlene.
welcome.
Thank you for taking us on your journey. And congratulations on being a survivor.
Thank you.
We're praying for you always. Thank you, John, for being here. I could tell you're the rock of the... She's still leaning on you.
He is.
Okay. Thank you very much and good luck to you.
Thank you.
When we return, we'll be talking with Carolyn Cruz. You're watching My Story. Thank you for joining us and welcome back to the second episode of My Story. Allow me to introduce you to our second survivor. Her name is Carolyn Cruz and her sister-in-law, Arlene. Half a day.
Hi, half a day.
So you have, you were diagnosed with
Papillary thyroid carcinoma,
papillary thyroid carcinoma.
which there are 4 types.
Okay.
which they're papillary, follicular, am I saying it right? Follicular, medullary, and anaplastic.
Okay, so thyroid, some people don't even know what that is. What does the thyroid do?
It actually it controls your heartbeat, the temperature in your body, your weight gain, your mood.
Or loss.
You know,
Your
basically.
mood. Wow.
Absolutely.
Where is the thyroid located? Just in the
It's right here
region?
on the neck.
On the neck.
Right here. Yeah.
So, before you were diagnosed with thyroid cancer, what was your life like?
Typical mom. You
Really?
know.
You have kids?
Yes, two
How many?
boys,
Okay.
Frank and Brandon, and you know, go to work, come home, cook dinner, take care of the kids. You know, at that time I had one grandchild,
Okay.
and it was just every single day.
You're
was the
married?
same thing. Married to Vincent.
Vincent?
Yes.
Okay. What did you feel? What made you curious that something was going on?
Actually, my husband Vincent was a hotel manager for one of the properties here in Guam, and we had the opportunity to live in the hotel.
Okay.
So at that time, I'm not sure, I think it was SARS that was going around. So I had a cold. I was kind of concerned because, you know, we're right there. We're down in Tumon. And I went, the next day I went to SAA clinic. I got checked by an urgent care doctor. And he actually, he did the physical. You know, he checked here.
So you went to the doctor and the doctor was feeling?
Yes, he felt my thyroid, and he actually felt a lump on my thyroid. And he actually, he said, okay, Carolyn,
Where
we're
did
gonna
he
go ahead."
feel?
Right here.
Just right there where
Right here is just thyroid.
the
right
bone
here.
is?
Right here.
Now?
Mhm.
Okay.
And it's the shape of a butterfly.
Okay.
So from that time, he goes, okay, we're gonna go and send you to radiology. We're gonna have you have a ultrasound. I had the ultrasound done, and technicians, they're just technicians, they're not doctors. And you should never feel, or they should never let you feel that, oh wow, you know, she has that kind of thing. You know
Something's
what I mean?
wrong.
So yeah, you know, you should
So they
never
gave you an
listen.
indication?
Yeah, they said, oh look, there's a black spot there, you know.
Wow.
You see it. So went to radiology, had to have I'm not sure if it's called an aspiration, where they take this long needle and they stick it into here to go into the tumor. The tumor was the size of a green grape. And they took a sample of it, and then the technician again was saying, oh, it's calcified. So, oh, that's a good thing. You know, and I was like,
So he's putting all these thoughts in your head.
yeah, I said, oh, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So I'm like getting out of the, you know, the room, and I'm like, oh, that's a good thing, Carol. So you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
That Saturday, he had called me, and he said, and you know, we were preparing for her bachelorette party.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a weekend. So we're so excited, and we're so happy. And then all of a sudden, I get this phone call from my doctor, and he goes, Mrs. Cruz. I said, yes, this is Dr. So-and-so. You have something carcinoma.
Carcinoma is cancer.
You know. So at that time, it was like, what? I stood back and I looked at my phone, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
He just told you that over the phone?
Straight out, you have papillary thyroid carcinoma.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was a Saturday afternoon.
What the way he told you, though, I mean, was it concerning? I mean, did the sound of his
No,
voice, did it seem like it was like, oh, you know, I have to let you know that we have this?
No.
No, just straight up,
Straight out, you have papillary thyroid carcinoma. I'll see you Monday morning. That was
Wow.
it. Yep.
After they told you on the phone, did you go to Vincent right away, or?
Well, after we finished with bachelorette party, I went home, took a shower, and he came into the room, and I said, oh, you know, honey, I have something to tell you. He goes, okay, sure, fine, you know. So we sat down on the bed, and I held his hand, and he looked at me. He goes, what's wrong? I said, I have cancer. He goes, cancer? I said, yeah. I said, are you sure? I said, yeah, The doctor said I have papillary thyroid carcinoma. And at one point, we just looked at each other, hugged each other, and we cried. We cried, and no words, nothing. We cried for a good 15 minutes.
Wow.
And then we had to tell my boys, you know. So we decided not to wake the boys up, and we said, okay, we'll let them sleep, and in the morning before they go to school and work, then we'll talk to them. So I sat them down, and I told the kids, and, you know, boys,
Yeah.
you know, they're like, cancer, Mom? He goes, yeah. And they'll come to me and hug me, and they made me feel like, oh my God, this is the end of the world, you know, because they had it didn't register. It didn't register, you know, with them. You know, they just hear.
They were confused. They
Yeah,
weren't too
they're confused,
sure.
you know.
What is
Right,
this that
yes.
Mom has now?
Exactly, yeah.
What did you feel? I mean, that you have cancer? Because you haven't even seen the doctor yet,
No.
right? So you're not even sure what stage you're in, what your treatments, what.
The first time I heard it, honestly, I thought about death automatically. It was death. It was a death sentence. Because anytime you have cancer, whether it be first stage, second, third, or fourth, it's you know, if it's going to be aggressive, is it a type that you can actually be cured from? It's kind of hard.
So what did you do after that? Did you?
I went.
I mean, thinking that you were thinking that you're going to die.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
you-
I was thinking, who's going to take care of the kids? Who's
Wow,
going to take care
those
of
things
my
were going through.
husband? You know, I'm going to miss them getting married. You know, having more kids. So it was hard.
Okay,
yes.
so did you get your treatments done here on
I-
Guam, or did you do it off?
I didn't get my treatment. Well, I saw Dr. Friedman was my doctor at that
Okay.
time, and he was, you know, I was going to him almost every other day. I was getting blood tests every other day, looking at the levels of my the levels of my I don't know what they call it, but they always check what your thyroid produces.
Okay.
And if it's too high, I would have to get medication to lower it. If it's too low, I would have to be on medication to make it higher. So,
But the cancer's still there.
oh yeah.
Did they tell you that you needed to remove it?
Well, Dr. Freeman said, okay, you have two options. You can stay here and have the operation here, or you can go off island and have the operation off island.
You went to California?
I went to California. My sister, my mom lives there, and they're my support system there because these guys were my support system here.
So Vincent stayed here with the boys?
Vincent had to stay here because of his job. He had to. Then he flew out 2 days before my operation.
So what did they do for your cancer? Did they remove your...
The operation took about 9 hours.
Wow.
Mhm.
Your
So,
thyroid is still
yes.
in there?
No, gone.
No? They took it
I
out?
had a complete. They removed everything. They removed 10 of my lymph nodes,
Wow.
and they removed part of the muscle of my neck. The muscle on my neck.
So if you were to give advice, you know, to someone who maybe suspects, what would you tell them?
The first thing is get a physical every year. You know your body. If you feel something is not right, go in and get checked. And don't be afraid to ask the physician, the doctors, questions. You know, for me, it was like no one in my family has thyroid cancer. So the doctor actually asked me, he goes, were you exposed to a high level of radiation? So I was like, no. So to me, it's like, first step is take care of yourself, you know, get your checkups.
Watch what you eat, watch what you drink,
Right,
don't
you
smoke,
know,
okay.
if you're going through cancer right now, is your support system is, and your faith is what's going to get you through this. You know, and
Have good people like Carly
yes, my sister, my brothers, my in-laws, and my family,
and your husband.
and my husband, who is the best. Yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing your story
thank
with
you.
us. Thank you very much to Carolyn Cruz and Darlene Roberto, our warriors. When we return, we will talk with a representative from Guam Cancer Care. You're watching My Story.
Hafaday, my name is Lucy. I'm a nurse navigator at Guam Cancer Care. Guam Cancer Care is a locally funded and registered nonprofit organization here to provide free professional support services to Guam residents afflicted with cancer. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with cancer, please contact us. A navigator will meet with you to address any barriers you may have about your diagnosis and/or treatment. Financial assistance is also available based on eligibility. We offer navigation services to all cancer patients, which include education, support group, patient transportation, patient supplies, and nutritional supplements. We also seek, on your behalf, resources that may be available both locally and nationally. Once again, if you or a loved one have been diagnosed with cancer, please don't hesitate to contact us at 969-2223. We are located in Tumuning. Also, you can visit our website at guamcancercare.org. We are your advocates, and we are here to assist you every step of the way.
Thank you for joining us for this second episode of My Story. A special thank you to Pacific Star Resort and Spa and Magic Mirror. Catch the next episode right here on this Sorensen Media Group station. Till next time, I'm Louise Muña.